I am going to record just in case we have folks who are interested but not able to attend, and they can join virtually. So welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining us and for your interest in becoming a Girls Who Game mentor. We are super excited to start mentorship and just get going in Jefferson County. So I know we had some kind of informal introductions. Would love for you just to say who you are a little more formally, you know, what your role is and why you might be interested in becoming a mentor. And Matt and Kendall and I will join in the group and do intros as well. But Jesse, would you get us started?
Sure. So I am Jessie Harris. I work at JCPS in the IT integration branch. My title is Professional Customer Care Technology. It's in a sense like a help desk role. But I want to be a mentor because when I was younger, we didn't have the opportunities like kids have today for technology as a female. And I want to inspire students to know that they can be in the IT role in their future.
Absolutely. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Welcome. Rachel, would you be willing to tell us a little bit more about you?
Sure. I'm Rachel Harden, and I work as a software developer in the JCPS Information Technology department. And for me, I grew up always being interested in like programming and code and video games. I was a big, I still am, play a lot of video games. And so growing up and being female and having those sort of interests, it was just that I was sort of an anomaly. Not that that's not common, but it's less common, and I appreciate that now it's more common. And anything I can do to see more women in technology. I mentioned earlier that I'm the only female developer on our team right now, and I would love to see that change. Especially going forward in the future for folks. So yeah.
Absolutely. Great. Thank you so much. Welcome. Matt, I know everybody knows you, but
yeah,
for the benefit
of... yeah, so Matt Balka, I work in the innovation branch. And, I'm the esports lead for the district. And so when I met with Dr. Latham and Nathaniel Blair, I think it was probably like the fall of 2019, they had mentioned Girls Who Game as something our girls could take an interest in. So we got the program off the ground. It was supposed to be in spring 2020, but we know how that goes. So fall 2020, we started it with Debbie Unger and her girls at Lassiter Middle. And now we've kind of grown that into 15 schools that are participating this spring around JCPS. So we're super excited. I mean, if you look at like 10 to 15 girls at club, that's anywhere from 150 to 225 girls that we're impacting with this program. And it's just going to continue to get bigger. So thank you all for being mentors for our girls.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt. You've been such a champion for this program, and we really appreciate that support and you being willing to lead it for the district. So thank you. I know Dr. Kendall Latham is on the call as well from Dell. Are you able to talk to us, or do you want me to introduce you? Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm good. Hi, ladies. So apologies for not showing video. I just got back from vacation. I have 3 small kids. It's been crazy this morning. So my hair is still soaking wet, but just excited that you guys are jumping in as mentors, because as you guys know, if they can see it, they can be it. And we just really feel like the mentorship component of Girls Who Game really has a huge impact on these girls. So I'm here to support in whatever way is necessary. And I am for Dell. So thanks, Julie.
Thanks, Kendall. And my name is Julie Foss, and I'm a consultant with a company called Advanced Learning Partnerships, and we support the professional learning side of Girls Who Game. And I love Girls Who Game for so many reasons. Chief among them, I am a girl mom. I've got 3 daughters who are all super interested in science and math and technology, and absolutely want them to be able to pursue anything that they want to. And as a longtime educator and administrator, access is something that's been really important to me my entire career. And so I love what the potential is for this program to really change the narrative in terms of workforce equity. So thank you all so much for being here. The plan today is just to take you through, tell you a little bit more about Girls Who Game, a little bit more about mentorship, and then to really see how you might be interested in serving as a mentor, what that might look like, and explore that a little bit. Is there anything else that you all want to, came today really hoping to walk away with? I just want to make sure we are true to that as well.
I think I would just like to know more information about what your program entails is all.
Okay, great. Yeah, we will definitely talk about that today. Anything else? Okay, great. So yeah, this is actually, I was a slide ahead of myself. So we were just looking forward to connecting with you, sharing about Girls Who Game. And then, it's such a wealth of resources around us, right? So we'd love to tap into the local expertise for our girls. So Girls Who Game is a program that was created by the education strategist in Canada. Her name is Katina Popolkis. And it is a program that is owned by Dell. It's supported through funding by Microsoft and Intel, and supported on the professional learning side by ALP, which is the company that I work for. JCPS is unique. So we've got over 60 clubs in the United States and Canada. But JCPS is unique in that it's sort of its own entity. And so we're really hoping that we sort of build enough clubs that JCPS becomes its own, Girls Who Game ecosystem. And so we are well on track to start that. There are 15 clubs this year or this spring, and we're looking to really increase that as we go. So in terms of our why, this is why the program exists. We know that computing skills are the most sought after in the US job market, that the demand is really growing 3 times the national average in terms of jobs. But that while women constitute 50% of the workforce, they only make up 28% of science and engineering jobs. And only that number drops to 11% when you look at women of color represented in those fields. Less than 50% of high school girls know a woman in a STEM career, and that's where you come in. So that mentorship and really kind of giving girls access to women who are in these fields right now is a really important piece of Girls Who Game. Just a few more statistics. So by 2030, the highest growth rate in job numbers and opportunity will be in technology. So we know that by connecting girls to these portable skills and access to technology mentors, that we will really make them future ready in terms of career opportunities. So the other thing we know is that by removing half of the population from the STEM field, we really remove girls from opportunity. We stifle innovation, right? If there are less diverse perspectives represented. And so we want to make sure that we continue to support innovation. And by not having women's voices represented, it really hampers our ability to solve today's global challenges. So I'd love for you, give you a little bit of information. Would love for you to just talk a little bit and react to what I just shared and some of those statistics. How does this workplace reality drive with your own experience as a professional? Would love for you to just unmute and share your experience.
Well, I guess I can definitely say, as far as the percentages go, we have, and I used to work in the same department that Jesse's in, and there's a little more female representation, but in the infrastructure and systems development department, there's if you include our clerical staff, there's a total of 4 women, I believe, and systems development, there's just 1. And when I was doing a computer science minor in college, there was 2 or 3 of us, and it's a kind of a shame, because a lot of the best the people that I know out in the world, and that I've made connections with after being in technology and having made those connections with people that aren't within my own organization. They're incredible women who have incredible skills, and their experiences seem to be the same, where they don't see people like themselves, and growing up they were sort of looked at as the sort of anomaly, and met with a lot of skepticism. It's like immediately when you get into a situation, you have something else to prove inherently, and I'd love to see that change. So I definitely see that disparity as far as the proportion of women who have the skills and that you see in the workplace.
Great, thanks, Rachel. Jesse, anything you would add?
Kind of agree with her. I remember a lot of my college classes that I took that were in the technology program. Um, it was mainly filled with guys, and that was just disappointing to see. I mean, obviously they're all smart people, but I'm rooting for my women partners. So, um, but yeah, I can agree with Rachel on that.
Okay, great. Yeah, so not taking anything away from talented men who are in those roles, but just really appreciate the need for the diversification of that perspective. And I see in the chat that Kendall said as well that that's a reality that I see in Dell, which is, you know, why our focus and why Girls Who Game. So there are really three elements to Girls Who Game. The first is authentic application. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about what our level 1 students are working toward, but they basically all get a challenge. And this year's challenge, or this spring's challenge, is to create a community that prioritizes gender equality and affordable and clean energy. So they're answering the question, what would a community look like if it worked for everyone? And they have to build a solution to that in Minecraft and then narrate what they've created and why they've created it. So we really want kids to have access to authentic application of their STEM skills and to really build those portable skills as well, their ability to communicate and collaborate and problem solve. The girl-centric ecosystem, and you all, alluded to this, that we really want to create a support system for girls who are interested in science, technology, engineering, and math, with a real spirit of collaboration versus competition. We want women to see other women and know those are their allies. And so we've created a Flipgrid community, and the girls can post videos and they do tutorials. And that's really all where our mentorship happens as well. And then the last piece, of course, is the mentorship. As Kendall said, if they can see it, they can be it. And so we want to give girls access to people who are in those fields currently, and who are willing to be a support along the way. So this is that challenge I mentioned. All of our challenges are built around the UN Sustainable Development Goals. The United Nations has declared 2020 to 2030 the decade of action. And so we really want the girls to be able to see themselves as change agents right now, that you don't have to wait until you're in a science and technology and engineering and math field. You can make change and create a difference in your community right now. And so in the fall, we asked the girls, which are the sustainable development goals you were most passionate about? And they voted for gender equality and affordable and clean energy. And so that's the reason, that's the focus for their challenge. And then here's just a little bit more about that. Their mission is to really design that community in Minecraft, prioritize gender equality and clean and affordable energy, that change agency piece. And then really the situation is kind of ripped from the headlines, right? That COVID has really changed the way we think, how we work, how we learn, how we live, how we play. So really, how do we reimagine a community that works for everyone? And then we've really given them an authentic audience. We've asked them to look around their own community and identify a local council that cares about positive change that they could create their pitch around or to. I'll pause there in case anyone has specific questions about that. Okay. So this is a young woman from one of our Canadian teams. Her name's Evangeline, and she's going to talk a little bit about her experience as a mentor. So that each team is paired with a mentor. In the past, that's how we've done it. And they have an opportunity to kind of meet and build a relationship. We also have level 2 and level 3 students. So level 2 students actually get a one-to-one mentor. They actually mentor the level 1 students, and they really build toward a leadership certificate. In level 3, the girls actually compete and train as an esports team, and they compete in an esports competition. So at JCPS, we have one group that's going to tackle level 2 this year. Everybody else is level 1, which is that culminating challenge. But I want you to hear from Evangeline, who talks a little bit about her experience with her mentor. Oh, I'm clicking the wrong one, sorry. Yeah. Oh, I just lost my link. You know what? I'll pull it up at the end. I'm sorry. But she talks a lot about the impact that her mentor had, how her leadership skills have developed, how what a difference it's made to be able to talk to somebody in the field, and how much she's learned about what her options are that she didn't realize beforehand. So I'll share that with you at the end. This is the level 3, which is that esports. How familiar are you, Jesse and Rachel, with esports? Are you fairly familiar?
I'm super familiar.
Okay.
One of my best friends is on a competitive Overwatch league, and so she competes with that. And if I had the time, I would probably get into that. But I play a lot of games myself and watch a lot of esports and been to DreamHack and do all the stuff. So I'm
That's
totally into
awesome.
that.
Fantastic. Okay, great. So the girls had an opportunity this past fall to actually be testers for the make and model that Minecraft Education Edition was creating for their esports teams. This year, they're actually going to have an opportunity to be screencasters. Is that shadowcasters? Is that what it's called? You're way more familiar than I am. So they're actually going to shadowcast, which is like the commentary that the girls do during the game. So they've just, it's a thank you, shoutcasters. Thank you, Matt. So glad you're here. So thank you. So I mean, just some really cool opportunities for the girls as they progress. So we've talked a little bit about girls who game. The mentoring piece, though, is thanks, Matt. But the impact of mentoring is not just supported by what we've seen anecdotally in terms of what the girls are reporting. There's research around that as well, that girls' opinions of STEM really change as they get older. We notice a decrease in interest in STEM as the girls hit middle school and high school. And their confidence in STEM remains high, but they just don't see other women in those subjects, and don't necessarily see all the possibilities in terms of career and how to pursue them. They have a hard time picturing themselves in a STEM role simply because they don't know women in those roles. So the impact of mentoring is significant, that even a small amount of exposure to real world STEM jobs dramatically impacts girls' outlook. They feel more empowered to pursue the opportunity. Their perception of STEM creativity and positive impact more than doubled. I read one statistic that said if you ask a girl if she wants to be an engineer, there's a certain percentage of girls who would say yes, but if you ask a girl if she wants to, build systems for, water irrigation systems to help communities, that number more than doubles. And so really connecting girls to purposeful STEM careers is the other thing that statistically we know works. The other thing that's really important to know about women in STEM careers is that they have over an 8% increase in job satisfaction than women in other fields. And so these girls are getting not only access to women in STEM careers and what those careers look like, but access to women who feel they're really making a difference. So how does it work? So here's our initial thinking. We have a Flipgrid community that we would ask you to create just kind of a 5-minute video. It doesn't have to be exactly 5 minutes, but about a 5-minute video of your story. So what's your professional journey? What are some things that you learned along the way? What are kind of pivotal moments that changed your trajectory or that pushed you forward? Who were people that had an impact, and what was that like? So any story that you want to tell about your professional journey, we'd ask that you introduce yourself on Flipgrid. We also are interested in potentially pairing mentors with clubs, and that maybe you come in a couple of times and do just like a mini 15-minute, 20-minute presentation about your story, and then answer the questions that the girls would develop. That's an opportunity. And then for those level 2 girls, we're looking for one-on-one mentors, people who will, kind of the way we've done in the past is asynchronously, so that it works for everybody's schedules and it's less complicated from a scheduling perspective, where, the girls would introduce themselves to you, you would introduce yourself to them. They would take on a project related to Minecraft or their mentorship with a level 1 student. And you talk through that and give advice, and they might ask questions, and you'd kind of go back and forth asynchronously. The other thing we've done in the past is have kind of like a mentor panel where we pick a day and have, some questions, and we'd have the girls moderate that, but that would be an opportunity as well. So if you were to think about those things, what sounds like something that that appeals just listening to some of those options?
I mean, I'd say like definitely both of those sound good to me. I'm definitely interested to be as active and invested as possible. Because it's something that I didn't have growing up, and and if I had known about it, I probably would have gotten. If I had known that there was a community for that and there was support for that, I wouldn't have been, in my 20s when I taught myself how to code. I would have been 12. What I mean? So.
Great.
So I'm definitely interested in either or both. My only concern is, and I'm not gonna lie here, I've never touched Minecraft. I have a lot of friends who have. A lot of my coworkers have, so I know
You
that
can
I
play on my
can.
server, Jesse. We'll
We'll play together. That sounds great. I mean, I know I can pick it up pretty easily, so that would be my only concern. But I have a tremendous experience of, struggling with getting into the IT field and looking for mentorship. So I can attest to that for sure.
Great. Okay, fantastic. No, I'm sure the girls would really benefit from your experience and that connection. And that might be a great way to connect with the girls, right? You certainly don't have to have there's no prerequisite, Minecraft experience necessary. But that might be a great way to connect with the girls, is just come and play with them,
Yeah. And learn together. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because I think everything I know about Minecraft I learned from my 9-year-old. So
that's great.
Okay, fantastic. So in terms of next steps, so I'll send a follow-up email and just kind of invite you to share what your availability might look like and what your interest might be. I do have a takeaway document that has some just things to think about as you think about your story, questions you might want to think through. Is it completely meant to be a guide or just additional information? And we trust you to share the rich experience that you have. The other thing is we are going to be running a couple of sessions. Dell's going to be running a couple of sessions next week and the week after on building your brand. And we're going to talk a little bit more about mentorship and there's just a neat workshop that's being conducted by them. So just wanted to extend that opportunity to anybody who's interested. I'll certainly share the links with you if that's something you're interested in. Again, just an optional opportunity. Matt, what else are we, or Dr. Latham, what else are we missing? Or should we mention?
I can't think of anything right now. You're just so awesome, Julie. It's just hard to come up with anything that you might have missed. So
hardly.
The one thing I would add is the badging, right? So everybody through our partnership with Tallow, everybody will get a badge as well, a digital badge as well too.
Great. Okay, terrific. Ladies, Jesse and Rachel, anything that any questions that you have or anything that's surfaced as we've talked this morning?
I don't think so. Just as long as I get any more information through email, any guide this guide, that would be great. But other than that, sounds great.
Yeah, they definitely, send the links and the info and also the info on those build your brand sessions. And I'll probably actually reach out to Matt about I didn't even realize that we had esports. I guess I knew that like middle and high school esports was a thing, because when I'll log on to Fortnite, it's a high school cup, and I'm like, what? Because that was not a thing when I was growing up. So actually, I'll probably reach out to you about that, because
we have
really interesting me.
We have a ton of schools that need a coach as well. If that's
hey, all right, what's up? Cool, yeah, I'll reach out to you.
Excellent, fantastic. Well, great. Well, yeah, and I would say too, if there are other people that that you think would be great mentors, we'd love for you to connect us with those folks as well. So thank you, but we're so appreciative of your investment in these young women and your interest today. So thanks so much for being here. We'll look forward to being in touch in the next week or so.
Thank you all.
Thank you
so
all so much. And if you have any other questions, I mean, you can just email me as well. So it's Matthew.Balka instead of Matt Balka for JCPS though. So they make me use my full name.
Thank you all. Nice to meet you.
Great to meet you all too. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Bye.
Have a good one.